My name is Erin Bush. I'm a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus, and I'm so excited for you guys to be here. This meeting is a little bit of an offshoot for our last week's training on what to do when you've lost your passion and how to remember your purpose. And so this training will be brief, and a lot of you probably know most of this stuff. And so I'm hoping that I can kind of shed light on how to practice it and get you guys moving in a more positive way, especially if you've been in this company and with this business for a long time. There's lots of ebb and flow when it comes to emotion, and maybe you've lost your momentum and you're looking for ways to get that back. I am 100% positive it all starts with you. It all starts in you. So we're going to do a little bit of talking about that tonight. All right, first thing I'm going to do is share my screen here. Just a very, very simple, nothing fancy PowerPoint for you here. Whoops, and this is not the beginning, so just a second. All right, so tonight we're talking about the practices of a positive influencer. So what do people who find success and find fulfillment in their job, in their business, how do you, as an ambassador with Plexus, practice your business in such a way that you are positively affecting people and more and more and more people? So there are certain behaviors that people who are successful in whatever business they choose to be a part of share and practice daily. So and engage in, and their behaviors that are even become habitual, you could say. So we're going to go through those tonight. First of all, they practice their purpose. Now, we talked a little bit last week about remembering your purpose in Plexus, remembering why you started this business, remembering why you started sharing and wanted to make an income. And remember too, everybody, if you are here tonight, you are here because someone was practicing the business of Plexus and they influenced you and you joined, and look how amazing your life has been affected positively because of that. So people who find joy and passion in what they do have a very deep sense of purpose, and it's not just their why. It's sorry, that is my timer to a little late to come on tonight. It's an unselfish point of view. They come at it unselfishly, and they also know what they bring to the table, and they give it freely. And one of the things I want you to understand too is that if you are frustrated right now in your posting and in your social media presence, my guess is it's because you're not living your social media life authentically. Like you can't be anybody else, you guys. If there is any network marketing business out there that kind of forces you to be your authentic self, I think it's Plexus. You can't have to be transparent. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be who you are and turn your mess into a message. And that's what successful people who are joyful in their business are doing. They're turning their mess into a message. And you can do that. Anybody can do that. Anybody can create that. You've learned hard things, or you've been through hard things, and now you're coming out on the other side and you're sharing that journey, and you can do that through your Plexus business. If you're a brand new ambassador and you are just starting the products, even if you don't know if you want to do a business or not, journal what you're feeling on your social media. That is the most authentic and truthful way you could share with the products you're on. It would be the same thing as sharing anything that has come into your life that you're trying that's new. Okay, they practice connecting. Now, I really like this particular one because that is what we do in network marketing. That's what networking means, right? And look, we're not the only, yes, we base our business on networking, but I have discovered very quickly with the job that my husband has right now that networking is like one of the most important parts of his job. And he's in corporate America. So you think we all do this constantly. God built us to be connecting human beings, built us to be a part of a togetherness, a community, a village. So connecting with others is definitely a part of fulfilling your purpose and finding joy in your business and being a positive influencer. And look, if you're an introvert, that means pushing past your fear to connect with others. I am some weird in between extrovert and introvert. I love people. I love being with them. I love pouring into people. But at the same time, I really kind of need my own space. And I feel funny when I walk into a crowd. I don't necessarily feel, I've always been that way. I just don't feel, I just feel weird. Not myself. And so it takes everything in me to, quote, work a crowd. And what I mean on that is just like going around and connecting to other people. That it really is tough for me. So I have had to push past that fear and that uncomfortable feeling to go connect with people. It's like I suddenly become a third grader in a brand new classroom, like and where everybody's been in the same class all year long, and I'm showing up in the last month. I mean, that's how I feel when I go into a crowd. So what people do who are positive influencers is they push past that. They're not all extroverts, and they go and purposely make eye contact, ask questions of people, don't talk about themselves too much. Instead, they are genuinely interested in the other person. Like they are looking for positive, supportive, authentic relationships, and that is the foundational building block of their business. Guess what, guys? That is what we should be doing. That is exactly what we should be doing. When you are at church, you make it your mission to talk to as many people as possible. And I even feel uncomfortable doing that. When the pastor says everybody shake hands, I like want to stand in my little corner and shake that person and that person. Or if what I really want to do is just hug my family and be done. I have to really get out of my comfort zone in order to connect with people. And yet that is an integral part of being a positive influencer. So look people in the eye longer, walk around the room instead of waiting for somebody to come to you. Just be a blessing to others, and you just never know what a kind word will do for someone, and that is being a positive influencer. Okay, next one. They practice self-investment. And we talked about this a little bit the other night too. When you're trying to reignite your passion and remember your purpose, you self-develop, like you work on yourself. When someone is really struggling in their mindset and how they're feeling about their business and about themselves, most of the time, and this goes for me too, I am speaking to the choir, speaking from experience. When I feel like that, I 100% can point out the fact that I'm drowning my sorrows in TV shows instead of doing self-development. This is a network marketing business, which means it's attraction marketing, which means you've got to be working on you. And these people who are positive influencers, they are working on themselves. They are taking an investment of time and putting it into their own self-development. Okay, they surround themselves with people who are doing it better than they are. Bob right now has got to find some executive positions in the business that he's running. And so what he is doing is taking his time and looking for people who are going to be the best, like they're better than he is at that particular position. He wants to be surrounded by the people who are the best. So that's kind of what you're doing when you're reading books and you're listening to audio and you're investing in yourself. Tonight, you are coming and looking for something you can glean from what my experience has been. So that doesn't mean I'm better at this than you at all, but it means that I've had an experience that maybe you can glean from. And look, I do the same thing. I go out and look for people who have done this, in my mind, better than I have, and I listen to them and I try to put into practice the things that they say. Okay, next one. They practice, I love this one, oh my goodness, self-awareness and problem solving. Now, this is so important. I want you to really listen to me here. One of the things to be a positive influence on people's lives, you must get to the root of an issue that you are experiencing, that self-awareness, and then help yourself like work towards processing it so you can move past it. If you are struggling with rejection, you have got to get to the root of why, process it, and get through it so that you can move forward in your business. And then you can help your team move forward as well. Ask questions of yourself, go seek counseling if you need to. Find the root, go deep, find the root of what's going on in your mind and in your heart, and then acknowledge it and get through it. You guys, this last year, that has been a huge processing for me. And I needed help to do that. I went to a counselor and just started asking me hard questions. And that has like propelled me to start looking deeper into why I'm acting or not acting the way that I should or should not be. So that practicing this self-awareness and then problem solving on how you can get past something is like, and you may have to do it more than once, believe me. You don't automatically take some childhood issue that has just kind of shaped who you are now and the decisions that you make, and they just go away overnight or one time because you process it and think about it. Like, you've got to process it over and over and over, get to the root issue, and then move on. And network marketing, guys, this business brings out those tough things in us. And so it should. Do you know why? Why that is? It's because you are acting unselfishly. And the human mind wants nothing more than, like, the subconscious, all it wants to do is protect you. Like, primitively, that is what we are designed to do. Stay mediocre, stay uncomfortable, stay with what you know, and stay there. Don't move. That is because it's a protection mechanism. So the first time you have that strong feeling of rejection, what does your mind start doing? Maybe you can handle it the first time, but the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, or maybe months of it, all of a sudden your mind is freaking out. Your subconscious is going, red light. You're not feeling good. You don't like the way you're just like, your head is going to explode. You're crying, blah, blah, blah. Let's bring it in. Let's be comfortable. And you start avoiding the business side or the uncomfortable side of whatever it is that you were feeling, and you can't move forward. So you figure out what your subconscious is saying to you and why you're acting or not acting the way you should in order to get your business to move forward. Okay, number 5, they practice vision investment. So they have their vision of what they want, and it may not be a long-term goal. It could be a short-term goal in front of them all the time. Like, your goal could, like, plainly, simply be, you want to add 1 customer this month. That could be your vision for this month, and that is in front of you. That is an easy, attainable goal. And when you're frustrated and discouraged, you guys, you can't do big goals. You've got to take small chunks, small goals. And so you practice that vision investment in yourself. Let me look at my notes. Sorry. Okay, they see the long term, they understand delayed gratification, they take the time to think, and they put those goals in front of them all the time. That's why I'm so big on having a chalkboard or having a whiteboard or something like that, where you and your family are seeing it all the time, where you have that month's goals up there, so they are constantly in front of you. And so you have these nice little child accountability partners. There's no accountability partner better than a small child who wants to fill in a box that you signed an ambassador this month. So, having those goals in front of you all the time, I mean, I really think that that is part of casting the vision for yourself. All right, what else do? They practice coachability. So one of the very first things that I did when I was moving towards gold and senior gold, I wanted to move faster. I wanted to have a broader influence. I wanted to do a better job. I was spending hours just like soaking up information and trying to learn and then put into practice what I had learned. Key point there, put into practice what I learned. And one of the things I did was go to someone in my upline who I just felt like posted so well and said, hey, can you look at you take 10 seconds, 20 seconds, can you scroll through my Facebook feed and tell me how I can improve? And she did, and it was like such a big deal to me because I hadn't seen what she pointed out to me, and so then I tweaked and changed that to make it better. So be coachable, or if somebody an upline comes to you and says, hey, do you want to know what you could be doing better, or can I make some observations? Say yes and be coachable, and then take what they say and evaluate it, discern what is good and what will work, and then put it into practice what will, and you can set aside if it's not truthful and you don't think that that's the case. So you need to have that kind of discerning coachability. Do you know what I mean? This is your own business. This is not your upline's business. It's not your downline's business. This is your business. So be coachable and be discerning in that coachability. Okay, next one. They practice giving. Now, you might be thinking I'm talking about, like charitable contributions and stuff like that, but I'm actually not here. What I'm talking about is they bring value to their audience. They bring value to other people. Maybe they're encouraging, maybe they're inspiring, maybe they're teaching something. Look, if you are good at something in your life, then share about it with others. Or if you're learning something in your life, share what you learn. So for example, I know people who are really, really good homeschool moms. Like, they are so much better than me. And I think, go share that. Give what you know, show your schoolroom, show your lesson plans, show how you pick out curriculum, whatever it is that you can give back. That's one of the main things on Instagram that attracts people, for example, is if you're giving something away for free. And I don't mean an item or money or something like that, but if you're teaching something. Some of the main accounts that I follow on Instagram, it's because I'm getting good ideas from them. Like, they're showing me how to do something. So that could be your case as well in your life. I mean, if you know how to bake really well, or if you know how to cook, or if you know how to organize and clean, or whatever it is, you could also just plainly be inspiring and be encouraging and be sharing what you're learning. Maybe you're reading a book right now or whatever. Give back. And that's what positive influencers do. They give back, because remember, people don't necessarily remember events and things about you. They remember how you make them feel. How are you making people feel? That is what people will remember about you. And if it's something positive, they will keep coming back. Okay, practice positive engagement. I'm on number 8 here. Okay, this is where they bring people along with them positively to ascend together, to succeed together. This is locking arms together. This is a sense of community and culture. They see people's hearts and where they are. They acknowledge that. They connect with them. They are happy to help and support. So this is, I think this is a really good thing if you are starting to build a team, that you are practicing positive engagement with your team, you know, going for a coffee or doing an online coffee chat, you know, messaging each other, calling on the phone, Marco Polo, something like that. Okay. They practice influencing. So, and they look for ways to influence in a bigger way. How do they, I really, you know, who kind of like reminds me of doing this is Bob Heilig. Like, I just feel like he is so good at practicing his influence positively, and that he is always looking to how he can bring value to others, and he's very obviously looking to see how he can expand that influence. John Maxwell is another really great example of that. I mean, look, he just wrote a book for network marketers, and so he is looking for ways that he can expand his positive influence even further, asking yourself, who else can I help and how? And so that's the same thing we can do too. Like, what other venues have you not stepped into yet where you can help people, where you can connect, where you can bless them with this amazing opportunity, and or just even with your amazing self? How can you bless others? That is being a positive influence. Okay, and the very last one. We're going quickly through these, but practice failing forward. This is something that people who have a very positive influence and are successful because of that do consistently. You know, there's just so many examples of this. And again, this comes back to your subconscious does not want you to fail. Like, it's freaking out at that possibility. So sometimes I see us sabotage ourselves to even be successful, because what if we go backwards? What if we fail? What if we don't make it? What if someone on our team leaves? What if I get rejected by the most important person that, you know, is in my life? What if I'm not supported by this person or that person? We have got to practice failing forward. And what that means is you get up again. You get up again. You get up again and again and again and again. Just like, who was it? Thomas Edison, like 1,000 times trying to get electricity into a light bulb or something like that. If you look at some of the famous basketball stars and how many times they missed a shot compared to how many times they made it, like the missing is exponentially higher than the making it. You guys, like, this business is a long journey. You're gonna fail over and over and over. I have failed so dang much. Honestly, I have failed more probably in the last 2 years than I have failed ever in this business, or probably maybe even in my life. And I just keep getting up and moving forward. And sometimes it's a slow crawl, and sometimes all I'm doing is like barely breathing the air above my head, but I am getting up and moving forward. And sometimes moving forward just means you actually standing back up, and that's okay. So learn how to fail forward. There's an amazing book by John Maxwell called Failing Forward. If I had never read that, I read that in the very beginning when I first started Plexus. If I had not, I probably wouldn't be where I am in Plexus today, or what I've accomplished at all, or even still be here, or anything, because that book, and it can be all parts of your life, whether you feel like you failed in relationships, or you feel like you have failed in you know, your health or whatever it is, failed financially and made poor decisions, whatever, whatever you feel you failed in, your subconscious wants to keep you in that failing space because it's so fearful of doing it again. But you guys, so what? Like, really, in the end, we don't have a whole lot to be fearful of. I have this theory that that like we have, and maybe it's not my theory, maybe I read it somewhere, but I really feel like we have so much given to us, food and shelter, and sure, you can live paycheck to paycheck and you can wonder where your next meal is going to come from, but really in the end, we are tremendously blessed in this country. And even when Bob and I were at our very, very poorest, and we were very poor for many years, and sometimes we would like just show up at one of our parents' houses hoping they would feed us dinner because we didn't have dinner. And so, you know, we, even at those times though, we were always taken care of. There was always somewhere we could go to get help. And now that we have that, I feel like our subconscious starts fearing all these other things. So right now in your life, you probably have a job that is providing for you, but you want more. And your subconscious doesn't want you to have more because it's uncomfortable. So I really think that if we can understand where our issues are coming from, that we can get past them and that we can be positive influencers as well. And I would encourage you too to like look for, when you are following people on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, look for not the people who put out the picture perfect, you know, person. Look for somebody who's authentic and real and vulnerable, and you know, and then be that yourself. Take your mess and make it a message. Take your mess ups and make them your story. And that's a good place to start, even in your business. So if you're looking for ways to connect with people, start there. Start by being you and being you. You are amazing the way you are. And I'm sure we could all improve, but that's all of us. So why not share the journey while we're improving? All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being on tonight. I just so appreciate you.